Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem HaRakakadash. That ones the apostles and elders, a great millstone and rule well. And Shalom to all the brothers doing the work, stirring truth. Goes to article on the sun. Again, it's covering these Chinese. And it's going into what? These guys building on that nuclear arsenal. And it's really China, other than obviously like North Korea. But North Korea is light work. Like it's really China that's been pushing the the nukes side of WW3. And as you know, we know from prophecy, WW3 is gonna be through nuclear means. It's gonna be nuclear means. So you're basically gonna have nuclear weaponry fired off, chiefly on America, man. America's gonna be hit by 200 billion nukes. So that's how the laws got it going down. And you can see, like, nukes have not been, like, a fact as far as in conflicts or mentioned really in the news as much for a while. Like, you might have had other than North Korea, but then North Korea's like, they're not really saying anything. And as far as it's like, I don't even believe they can hit the US. What they have, they could have it, but we'll see. So it says on the sun, it says, what warhead race China to have 1,000 nuclear weapons in next decade in bid to overtake US nuke arsenal. So China reportedly plans to build 1,000 nuclear weapons in the next decade, after worrying the US would start a war before the 2020 election. According to the US Defense Department's annual China military power report, communist nations' power acceleration may enable them to have up to 700 deliverable nuclear warheads by 2027. The report also claims the project aspires to supply China with at least 1,000 nuclear weapons by 2031. Last year, Pentagon's report said China had a nuclear stockpile of about 200 warheads, and that could double over the next decade. They appears to have decided to go in kind of a different direction in terms of expanding the nuclear force in terms of size, an anonymous senior U.S. defense official told the Washington Post. Whereas what was it? So then it would have to be that, yeah. They seem to be trying to take. Whereas before I would have said that they were gradually increasing the size, now they seem to be trying to take that up to a different level. The senior defense official said the U.S. has about 3,750 nuclear warheads, but the growth is a concern. Obviously, the actual numbers, they're not disclosing what's in the actual stockpiles. The whole point of the Cold War was to not actually disclose the amount that you have or where they are. This is why these numbers they're revealing are fudged. So this is what it was sparked by China's concern that former President Donald Trump would launch an attack, according to a report. Yeah, I remember I think maybe just in like the last few days he was in there, they were saying, oh, he might just launch an attack, start a war to keep the office, which he didn't do. Because why? There's further prophecies that need to be fulfilled. And that's what you see happening. It says the report is released at a time when the US tested a hypersonic weapon system with strike capability after China reportedly flew a terrifying nuclear-capable missile right around the Earth. Yeah, because China's even been developing. They've been sending people. I think they sent people to the International Space Station, and all those rockets that you have for getting into space. They're the same ones that you're using to blow people to fucking sky high, man, with nukes. So that's why they're seeing them developing that. They know it's the same thing as developing nuclear weaponry. So on October 17, the Financial Times reported that China tested a nuclear-capable hypersonic missile in August that circled the globe before speeding towards its target, demonstrating an advanced space capability that caught US intelligence by surprise. There's been speculation that the US and China are heading towards a nuclear showdown over Taiwan, as both countries appear unlikely to reach a compromise over the island's future. An expert has warned, yeah. And China, similar to Russia, really, has just been grabbing up all those former states, man. Just been saying like, yo, time to come home. So what happened to Hong Kong, now it's Taiwan. Russia did it with Crimea, now they're doing it with what's it called, Ukraine, man. Basically dangling the sword of Damocles over the leader of Ukraine's head and saying like, yeah, it's up to you, man. Make the decision. But yeah, China's looking is getting hella aggressive. Why? Because these guys are basically looking to. They're thinking, yo, we got next after the American system crumbles. They can see it's weakening. They can see it's losing losing its appeal, its strength. So they're just like, yo, why go on? We can do the thing. So this is what country to reach a compromise. So this is China has vowed to reunify the island, and fears are growing that the US could be dragged into a future conflict involving Beijing and Taipei as the war games intensify. And yeah, everyone's been busting out with war games. All in and around that area, man. And then Iran still being Iran. Iran. So it says late last week, Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen admitted for the first that US troops have been on the island secretly training its military. Yeah, that's the thing that's worse, because they got US troops there already. Then if they just do a raw boots on the ground invasion, and some US troops get swatted, it's gonna escalate. Which these things will escalate, but whether this is time and place remains to be seen. Ethan Paul of the Quincy Institute for Responsible Statecraft told The Sun that Taiwan is a key piece in President Xi's rejuvenation project that believes Beijing doesn't consider itself a great power unless unification isn't achieved. He said China has this concept of rejuvenation. A large part of the idea is redeeming the history of colonialism in China, not only by Western powers but also by Japan. If China cannot fulfill unification, then China is in fact not that great power that it seeks to be, and it's still under the thumb of the West. So these guys are looking to basically build themselves up and take the position of what Esau's got, man. Because just like before, when like Japan before they saw what Esau was doing, they were like, okay, yeah, we're gonna jump on some of that, and then just started fucking taking over China, Korea, different parts of Southeast Asia as well, in like the lead up to World War II, and then that led to that wide scale conflict, man. So I think it was like what the rape of Nanking. That was the main thing that kind of got international attention on them. So we'll see with China if there's something similar. Well, there'll be that inciting incident to where it might just start off with, because like they said, there's troops in Taiwan, man. Secretly had U.S. troops in Taiwan. These things start off, it would just be like, okay, the third, like when you look down the line and you go back to, okay, how does it escalate? Say, oh, there was those troops. No, the U.S. mentioned blah blah blah. Then they stationed troops in there and were training them, and then there was this conflict, blah blah. Soldiers got hit, and that's the thing. It doesn't just start off like, okay, now World War III is beginning, and then like one guy gets shot in the head, and it's like, okay, and that's the beginning of World. No. Like even World War One, where it's like what assassination of Franz Ferdinand, that wasn't understood as any greater level of war than had gone on. It was only later down the line, and then afterwards, they're calling it the Great War. So these things are blowing up, and it's what nukes. That's what every time China's being mentioned, to China's Taiwan situation's being mentioned, nukes are being brought up. And you go in prophecy, it says what? Joel 2 and 3, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land, yeah, that's the fire in the front from re-entry to the atmosphere, and the fire from behind is all that fuel being burnt by the rocket. This is what the land is a garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape. Yeah. Before they hit, they're looking mad clean, but then afterwards you go, it's looking like desolate, man, like a desert. Everything's been blazed and burned. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Yeah. So these rockets, they're gonna be moving in concert. They're gonna be moving in formation, as they do. They ain't gonna move out of line. And that's why you kind of have those where you'll see the trails from behind them have multiple missiles, and you have like the trails from behind where they're in line. Because why? They got them guided systems to get them to the location, and got the angels guiding them as well. It says what? Before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war. Yeah. They're just gonna gallop in to their destination. It says what? They'll climb the wall. Any form of defense is gonna get smashed. They ain't like Iron Dome defense. That's the thing as well. It's like with those defenses, they're trying to detonate the rocket before it hits. You do that with a nuke, you're toast, man. Okay. Gather all faces show cover blackness. They shall run upon the wall, they shall march. Oh, okay. And climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon a sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble, and the sun and moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Yeah, all understanding is gonna be gone, man. These guys are just gonna be getting destruction on a heavy level, man. And that's what's gonna go down, chiefly in America. But what, as you can see, that enmity between America and other nations has been building, even between its allies. The situation with the UK, US, America, Australia link up, and then France having a tiff. That that as far as for America is being looked at critically globally, man. People are looking at America like, yo, what's going on? Because of what's going on domestically, because of the choices they made in war, because of their history, all forms of reasons they've been looked at, man. And Lord's gonna put the spirit on these nations to basically turn and be like, yo, no, fuck this place. And hate the whole and burn it with fire, man. With what? Them nukes. So hey, World War 3, man. Soon come. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.